Hello there, future fellow weirdass of the flock. How are you? Welcome to the most offensive church this side of the universe, the party pin. What we do here is we read this great ass book called God Said, because he did not fucking say that. So, we're gonna find out what he did say. This is God's unofficial biography, Das Bible, as read by
yours truly, the Saint of Awesome, your Superstone Sage, Saint Nikki K the Great. Haha. And I am wonderful. So, I've met before. I consider this book a trilogy. So, we are on book 2 of this trilogy. We are in the story of Jesus. I don't know that guy. That is the name of this book. I don't know that guy. So, we are going to read it and follow him along on his tour. You know, his shit talking tour / wellness clinic. We are going to follow him on that journey and get to know him and see what he's like. So, if you also want to know Jesus and what Jesus is like, come this way. I have everything you need. I have cannabis. I have cigarettes. I have coffee. We have Johnny Depp mega pints of coffee, actually. I have a chair with your name on it. I have cat beds and canine space if you brought your animals, because I love them. So, come on in and have a seat, because we're about to have a good time. Yes, should be amazing. So, we are on chapter 12. And Jesus, at the end of chapter 11, I just want to go back real quick. He said, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I want to talk about that for just a second. I'm not a preacher. I'm not even qualified to be a preacher. I'm a Bible reader. I'm a sage. I just want to know what things say. So, we are going to talk about what this says. First off, we all know it is extremely hard to do the right thing. And it gets you in a lot of trouble. And we know that just from the story of Jesus. When he tells the truth, when he does the right thing, they hurt him for it, right? But he's like, take on my burden. It takes nothing. which really it does take nothing. You just got to say you're sorry. Right? You say you're sorry to Jesus for being an asshole. And then he's like, okay, you can be my friend. Right? He says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. His may be, but God's is not. And at the end of the day, you're trying to get to God, you know? So when he looks you over at the end of it, he can be like, yeah, you did do the Jesus thing, but you also did the God thing. I don't know that to be true, but I know ultimately it's God. So it's the creator of everything, right? You live to please him ultimately. And by pleasing him, you please Jesus. Well, actually, it's supposed to be the other way. You please Jesus and it please God. But again, God is ultimately what matters. And his burden is not light. His burden is do the right thing no matter what. You do the right thing no matter what. I don't know how to. I fuck it. I don't know. My hands are shaking because I'm doing a lot of anti preaching. um. Anyway, and it is like Jesus said though, like the path is wide and the straight is, or the gate is wide, but the path is narrow and very few people get through it to get to heaven by doing the right thing no matter what. You get to go to heaven. I don't know that to be true, but that's what it sounds like. And God's whole thing is actually his whole thing is love him before everything, right? Don't be a dick and don't kill people. That's God's major three things. Treat people nice, no matter who they are. All of it's broke down into sections, right? And then the don't be a dick part also involves the stealing and just the covenant, all that shit. It's just stupid. And then don't murder people, you know. But it ends, you're always doing the right thing no matter what. So it doesn't really count against you. But what does count against you, though, is not paying attention to Jesus because he is still there. Like while you're trying to make the universe, God, the creator, happy, you're also making Jesus happy. You just got to walk with you and let him always be there. It's kind of like the thing. But I don't really know that to be 100% true. But it's the only thing I could think of. My phone is doing things. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, that might be Fred. Oh, wait. Oh, therapy on Wednesday, March. What day is that? Oh, that's tomorrow. I have therapy today and tomorrow. Man, I'm so crazy. That's okay. I'm allowed to be crazy because I do awesome things. My therapist also says I do awesome things, but she says that that is bad that I do awesome things. I need to slow down. Something like that. Okay. So, and I think the finding rest for your souls is following Jesus brings you joy, and joy brings you happiness, and happiness brings you purpose, and purpose brings you meaning. You just have to make effort at pleasing Jesus and God. You know, find something that you like to do because they love what you love. So you find something you love to do and you make effort at that thing, you know, then joy out of even doing that thing. Like me in this live streaming, I get so much joy out of this for no reason. But I make an effort at it and I have Jesus and good things are happening to me. And I'm finding joy and happiness, purpose and meaning. And that's what Jesus is saying, you know. Come to him, you'll find rest for your soul. And rest for your soul is getting that one thing that you like to do. Finding that one thing that you enjoy. And you know, not destructive. It's like a constructive thing because Jesus is destructive. So, you know, it's that kind of thing. It's not like make effort at doing drugs and Jesus is there. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. I don't know. I'm just saying that. But you find something like Jesus will help you find that one thing. And it's that one thing that you enjoy and make effort at. And then it brings you joy, purpose, and meaning. And all while that's happening, you're going to get girlfriend. You'll be able to do the things that you want to do for yourself, like go to school or go cooking, you know, things like that. Jesus does give you the time to figure that stuff out, and he'll be with you the whole time. That's what it is. So now we are going to go to chapter 12 now that I've spent 14 minutes anti preaching. Okay. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples were hungry and began to pluck the heads of grain and eat. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, see this part right here. I I have never found this part in the Bible. What Jesus is about to say right here. I think at one time I remember reading it, but I don't think I did because I've read this book of Jesus 3 times. And I've read the book of David a bazillion times because I love that story. God is so much fun in that story. And we read that at night at 10 o'clock. So show up. It'll be fun. Well, actually, we're not reading David. We're reading how Samuel came to be. And Samuel is going to find Saul. And we're going to read that crazy ass story. And then we're going to read the story of David. And all of those are wrapped up and the story of Samuel. Okay. Anyway, they said, what is this? Completely crazy. Right. And Jesus was like, okay, I got one for you. And I don't know. I don't know about this because David wasn't with anybody when he showed up to the or the priest's place. He didn't have anybody with him because he went for a sword and some bread. And this is what Jesus is talking about. But David was by himself. He didn't get people with him until a little bit later. So I don't know. But I'm going to read it. And Jesus was like, have you not read what David did when he was hungry? He and those with him, how he at the house of God and ate the showbread, which was not lawful to eat. This happened, but David was by himself because he also got the sword of Goliath. Okay. Have you? And he ate the showbread, the house, what? Those who were with him, how he entered the house of God and ate the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, nor for those who were with him, but only for the priest. Or have you not read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests and the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? This is very wrong to compare his disciples to the priests and the Pharisees because the apostles are neither. So I don't know why Jesus would compare them not only to David, who is like a bazillion times more better than these apostles. And I don't know why he would say that, but also then to compare them to priests. They're not priests, they're fishermen and a tax collector and a thief. Um, Yet I say to you, in this place, there is one greater than the temple. Okay, remember this one. Greater than the temple. But you had known, no, if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the Gentiles, for the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. Okay. I require mercy and not sacrifice. What does that mean? Well, what does sacrifice mean? It means to give for something greater than you. Something like that. And what does mercy mean? Like when you're super fucking angry at someone and you want to kill them, but then you're like, nah, it's not even worth the jail time. Is that mercy? Or is it like the knuckle game where you're like, uncle, mercy, mercy. So it would be something like a king and a subject who is like maybe innocent because it was some shady shit on somebody else's behalf. And he's like, mercy, don't kill me. So he requires mercy. So being nice to someone, being kind to someone, actually, being kind to someone and not giving up the things that you like or love for something greater than you. Or, yeah, because even the sacrifice of animals, they're doing it for something greater than them. So, like, I'm not exactly sure. Or could it be something like, as long as you're kind, you can do, you don't have to give anything up. You just have to be kind. That's being good in the world, right? I don't know. I require mercy, not sacrifice. So that means I require you to be kind, but you don't have to give anything up. Hey, Dan, hold on. Hey, Dan. Yeah, I believe the greatest commandment. Yeah, it was love God, don't be a dick, and don't kill people. That's pretty much what the commandments. And I think this is what this saying too. Don't be a dick and you won't have to give uh yeah. Huh. See, I'm really good at things. Anti-preaching is my favorite. um but anyway, I think that's what that is. Be kind and you won't have to give up anything for something greater than you as long as you're kind. But I would not do that because that could mean anything, and just anything is bad for anyone. So don't do it. Oh, we're good. Actually, we're good. Dustin lost his job, but he's getting a new one. But other than that, we're okay. I think. Yeah, no, we're fine. Did you hear about the show Mom's doing with me on Saturday? She's going to be doing a show with me on Saturdays. But, Dan, I'm going to finish reading this real quick. No, this is long as fuck. I didn't even start it. Oh my God, this is so long. Ah, yeah, I believe. Yeah, we're good. What is. Make by my caveman. Damn it. Okay. So, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. Okay. Now, when he had departed from there, he went into their synagogue. See, this is the most badass thing. Jesus gives no fucks, like none at all, for any reason. He goes into their space and teaches their message. No, teaches not their message in their own space. And this is how you know Jesus had short hair, because you couldn't be a rabbi without short hair. They were the only ones allowed to have short hair. But they are not. If you were a teacher or rabbi, you cannot have short hair. Hey, Veda, love you. And even these Pharisees called him rabbi, which means if they were using respectful terms for him, he definitely had short hair. Because priests were the only ones allowed to, or priests and rabbis were the only ones allowed to have short hair. Because they had to look presentable for God or something. Yeah. Anyway. Then he went in their synagogue. And behold, oh yeah, this guy, he had a strong arm. You know, like in Scary Movie, the guy was mashing the potatoes with the hand. That's what this guy had. And it was a Sabbath. And then, and behold, there was a man with a withered hand. And they asked him, they were like, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? And Jesus, being the absolute badass that he is, said, uh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. Now, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? Because they wanted to accuse him of some shit. Um, and then he said, what man is there among you who has one sheep, and if it falls in a pit on the Sabbath, will not lay hold of it and lift it out? Or how much more value is a man than a sheep? Therefore, it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. Then he said to the man, let me see your arm. And then, bam, his arm was better. And they got real mad. Then the Pharisees went out and plotted against him, how they might destroy him. See, these motherfuckers always trying to kill God. Why? Why are they always trying to kill God? For no reason at all. No, because they're fucking stupid. Okay. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew from there, and great multitudes followed his shiny pile of shit. And he healed them all, yet he warned them not to make him known, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah, saying, behold, my servant whom I have chosen. Oh, this is supposed to be God voice. Hold on.
Okay. Behold, my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is pleased. This is what he said when John came and baptized him. He was like, hey, this guy's the shit. And that's what he's saying right here. He's like, hey, this guy's the shit. Okay. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will declare justice to the Gentiles. He will not quarrel nor cry out, nor will anyone hear his voice in the street. A bruised reed he will not break, and smoking flecks he will not quench, till he sends forth justice to victory. And in his name the Gentiles will trust. Words and things.
Okay. Okay. Then one was brought to him who was demon possessed, blind and mute, and he healed them. So the blind and mute man both spoke and saw. And the multitudes were amazed and said, could this be the son of David? How? Look, how? No one knows. Now, when the Pharisees heard, they said, this man casts out demons by demons. But Jesus was like, that's not how that works. Like when you play chess, do you take your own pieces off the board? Because I don't think you do. That's not how that works. That would be self-cannibalizing, self-sabotage. Yeah, that's a bad idea. And I don't think Satan would do that. Yeah, so like shove it and stuff. I think. I don't know. So, surely the kingdom of God has come upon you. Or how can one enter a strong man's house and kill him unless the strong man. No, I'm sorry. How can a strong man's house be robbed if the strong man is there and what? Or who can enter the strong man's house and plunder his goods unless first binds the strong man? That's possible. General Piggy. Yay. Something. There you go. I'm glad you're breaking through. Okay. So he who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters from me. Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven. Okay. Something happened. Wait. Every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven, but the blasphemy against the Spirit will not be forgiven. Anyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man, it will be forgiven him. But whoever speaks against the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven him, either in this age or the age to come. Dun, dun, dun. Wait, in the age to come. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree and its fruit bad. For a tree is known by its fruit. Brood of vipers, how can you, being evil, speak good things? For out of abundance, the heart, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. A good man out of the good treasures of his heart brings forth good things, and an evil man out of the treasure brings forth evil things. But listen, I'm telling you that for every idle word men speak, they will give an account of it on the day of judgment. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Because word magic is a real thing. Yes. So if you're casting spells with your words, you need to atone for that. You should stop speaking word magic. It's bad. Then some of the scribes and Pharisees answered, saying, Teacher, this is how you know he has short hair. They do not use words like this for just everyday fucking people. Jesus was important somewhere that he can even go in the synagogue and teach. So Jesus had to be doing something before this. He was supposed to be a governor, a king of the people. So like he was probably in politics or something. Because not anybody can just go and start preaching inside a synagogue. So Jesus had somebody important before he was a nobody, or before he was a preacher. Hey there, bunny 2 times. Oh, wait, bunny times 2. I don't know. Bunny 2 time. I love that. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. But welcome. We are trying to get through chapter 12, but I keep anti preaching. Yeah. I just keep anti preaching and stopping myself. We are almost through this, except for no, we're not. Oh, wait. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Okay, I read this. Brings forth evil things. But, oh yeah, okay. By the words you speak, word magic. If you are casting spells with your words, you have to answer for that. Because word magic is a real fucking thing. The world was created with a word. So, words are important and very magical. Very magical words. Like, I try not to use magical words, but sometimes magical words just slip out of my mouth, and then before you know it, I have people. People are here. So, Some words are magic, man. Okay. Where am I at? Okay. Then some of the scribes and Pharisees answered as saying, Teacher, again, you, Jesus had to be somebody fucking important for them to call him words like this. Not just anybody can be called teacher. And not just anybody can have short hair. The people are not allowed to have short hair at all. They're just not. That shit is for the men of the church. And important men can have short hair. But they wouldn't be calling him teacher if he did not have short hair. And I believe Jesus was like the same color as Netanyahu. Maybe a little more tan because he was in Egypt for a little while. But again, I can't prove it except for the short hair thing that comes up in the beginning of the Old Testament. Bunny 2 times. Yeah, I love it. Okay. And we could say it like 2 chains, like Bunny 2 times. Yeah. We are on top of shit, man. Okay. Anyway. They said, we want to see a sign for you. And he said, you guys are absolutely fucking insane. You guys are terrible people. You're not getting a. Jesus does not cuss this tour. He cussed last tour. But this tour, he's going to tone it down. Because I don't know why. Because this is supposed to be an offensive church. But maybe this time Jesus could be a little calmer because I have new subscribers. But just know next time we go through this book, Jesus will cuss. Okay. Okay. So Jesus said, no, you guys suck. You guys are terrible fucking people. Okay. No sign will be given except the sign of the prophet Jonah, which the lesson in that is say yes to God and you won't get swallowed up by the world. You always tell God yes. Yes. Yes, God, yes. Because if you don't, you will find yourself in a belly of some shit. And like, and that's real. Like, if you ignore God or tell God no, or be like, in a little while, He will make your life hell until you say yes. I am proof of that. That's the only reason I even read this book in the first place, is God made me promise I would do it. And that was like almost 8 years ago. Yeah, it's real. Okay. Okay. For Jonah was in, no, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Which, by the way, is 420. And we'll go through that here at the end of the story, I'm going to show you why I believe Jesus, Naked Zombie Jesus Day is 420. But when we get there, I'll show you what I mean. Because I am, and you might see that I am right. Because I always celebrate Naked Zombie Jesus Day on 420. And Jesus's birthday, I celebrate June 14th. Because his birthday is the 14th through the 18th. So I believe it's June 14th. Yeah. So I have cake that day. I love cake. Anyway, I'm going to keep reading. We're almost done. Okay. And the great in the earth. The men of Nineveh will rise up in judgment with this generation and condemn it because they repented at the preaching of Jonah. And indeed, a greater than Jonah is here. The queen of the south will rise up in judgment with this generation and condemn it. For she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And indeed, something greater than Solomon is here. When an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places, seeking rest and finds none. Remember when Legion wanted to be thrown to the pigs because they didn't want to die? But then the pigs killed themselves anyways. It was funny. Then he says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when he comes, he finds it empty, swept, and put in order. Then goes and takes with him 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. So shall it be with this wicked generation. Because they get cleaned and saved by God, right? So then the demons go out of them, but they don't keep their minds closed. So the demon just comes back. Because you got to have a strong mind, got to have a strong will. And then things won't happen to you. You know, you won't get possessed. Always be able to make a light in your head. Just make a light and it'll be fine because then your mind will be blank. Or just always be like I told my ghost, John Smith. I have a ghost, John Smith ghost. And I said, you try any funny shit, I'm calling Jesus. Like you can be here or whatever. And he hides things. But he doesn't get very highly aggressive because I told him I'll call Jesus. I did. Okay. Find it so it'll be. While he was still talking to the multitudes. Okay. This right here. This right here. I have a real problem with. And I'll tell you why. Okay. Behold, his mothers and brothers stood outside, seeking to speak with him. And one of them told Jesus. But he answered and said, who is my mother? And who are my brothers? Right there, he just shit on them. He's like, I don't know them. So when it talks and acts about Mary being with them. She completely fucking lied that she was with Jesus. That's the only, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but right here, he does not acknowledge that. He's like, who the hell are those people? Okay. And then he stretched out his hand toward his disciples and said, here is my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother, my sister, and mother. Jesus completely shit on his family just now. He's like, I don't know them. Who are they? And I got a real problem with people saying and like, I don't know. That just everybody skips over that part. Like, it doesn't mean what the fuck he said and meant. So it's really weird because Jesus shit on his family right there. Anyway, that was the end of that chapter. Jesus shitting on Mary. Like, I don't know that chick. But she did lie, like, about him. She didn't tell anybody about Jesus. Not even Jesus, I think. I'm not sure how Jesus found out he has special powers, but I'm sure it wasn't from his mother. But anyway, what do you guys think? Go ahead and tell me in the chat what you think. And if you don't think nothing, I am going to go ahead and get out of here. Because I think Mr. Bill Donahue goes live in like 1 second. 1 minute. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Then I'm getting out of here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Oh, Fred, there you are. I was wondering. It was a good reading, wasn't it? I did such a good job. I think I look, if anybody has the opportunity, go back and watch this, but watch it in 2 times speed. Look. Okay. So that's the end of that. Well, go back and watch it in 2 times speed. I think I did a really good job. I did a lot of anti-preaching, which I guess could be considered preaching, but it's anti-preaching. It's different. Anyway, I love you, Fred, and I love everybody else, and I hope y'all have a great day and a very good dinner. I don't know what you're having for dinner, but I hope it's very good. But I think I'm about to go make some ramen noodles, maybe, because ramen noodles are always good. Anyway, I'm out of here. Fred, I love you. Watch it on 2 times speed. Everybody watch it on 2 times speed. I think I did a good job. Anyway, love y'all later.